There's a council tax conspiracy theory that could land you in prison. Let's not fall for it. I'm Rachel. I'm a public and social policy consultant on a mission to scrap council tax, and you won't find anybody who despises council tax as much as me. But today I want to talk about a really dangerous conspiracy theory that council tax is an illegal tax and that you don't have to pay. This conspiracy theory is quite often called a freeman of the land conspiracy. And it even goes so far as to people giving themselves different names, like Rachel of the Clan Lancashire. Although that does have a ring to it. Anyway, movement's part of a wide set of beliefs, sometimes called sovereign citizen identity or sovereign citizen ideology. And the core claim is that individuals can opt out of certain parts of sort of government authority by claiming themselves to be sovereign citizens. In the case of council tax, by claiming that council tax can only be enforced through a contract with an individual. This is not true. People who will try and sell you this conspiracy might not call it those things, but some of the red flags to look out for include assertions that you are a natural person and not a legal person. A bit like, we're joking, like say, what's your government name? Well, this conspiracy takes it a little further and says that your identity, according to the government, is not your real identity, and that the government only has control over the legal fiction that is your government name. They usually put that bit in capital letters. The theory stands that statute law does not apply without the individual's consent, that you can refuse contracts with the state, that courts kind of only have jurisdiction if you accept it, and that you can refuse council tax because there is no contract. Quite helpfully, people who push this conspiracy will provide you with a template to help you to refuse to pay council tax. And it will help you to send a letter to the council to say that you refuse to recognise its authority, you refuse to recognise the contract. And they do things that sound like legal, sort of asking for proof of jurisdiction or assertions that you are a free natural entity or not. So as attractive as it can be to be told that you don't have to pay council tax and that someone's found a loophole that not everybody is aware of and that you've got access to secret information, this is a really harmful conspiracy theory. But why is it false? Well, the central premise is flawed. Council tax is not a contract. Tax doesn't work that way. Council tax, like other taxes, is a statutory tax that's been created by law. And council tax liability is the result of legislation, specifically the Local Government Finance Act of 1992 and regulations called the Council Tax Finance Administration and Enforcement Regulations 1992. You don't need a contract with your council. The council does not need a contract with you, and the court does not need you to recognise it in order for it to make judgments. Imagine if it did. Magistrates' courts issue millions of summons and liability orders. Believe me, if this was true, they wouldn't be doing that. In fact, these arguments are routinely dismissed. Your council will have a template response that it sends back to people who try to tell them that council tax is illegal and that they don't have a contract. It's like an FAQ at this point. And the argument has been taken to court and has been dismissed multiple times. In 2015, a man called Mark Mackenzie was sentenced to prison for 40 days for refusing to pay his council tax using this argument. He claimed the council had no authority over him, that he was a freeman of the land, and that there was no contract in place and no jurisdiction for the courts. His argument was completely rejected and he was sentenced to 40 days in prison. More recently, in 2024, the High Court also dismissed the freeman of the land conspiracy. In Cofer versus Oldham 2024, same thing happened, and the claimant claimed that council tax was not enforceable without a contract. He was completely dismissed. So if it's routinely dismissed, it's absolute nonsense. Why is it such an attractive conspiracy theory? Well, it sounds really empowering. It tells people that the system is illegitimate, that they've discovered a loophole and they can escape debts and financial pressures that are no doubt causing them a lot of psychological harm. And it is attractive to think that you're on the inside, that you've got secret knowledge. This is how conspiracy theories work. This is a message that is really attractive to people who are already angry, already in financial distress, and already feel alienated from society. It's really harmful because it gives dangerous advice to potentially vulnerable people. People who follow this advice are encouraged to ignore council letters, to let the debt build up, and to refuse to pay over and over again. Sending pseudo-legal looking documents to your council will not stop any enforcement action. And if you've watched my video on council tax enforcement, you'll know that committal to prison is a result of willful refusal to pay council tax or having the means and failing to pay despite being given the opportunity. It's called culpable neglect. As your man in Manchester found out in 2015, 40 days in prison for falling for a conspiracy theory. Tough. If you're struggling with your council tax, contact your council. Use a benefit calculator to make sure that you're getting everything that you're entitled to, and look up discounts and exemptions. I will do some other videos on them, but look up discounts and exemptions and make sure that you're getting everything off your bill that you can. And if it's still unaffordable, which for a lot of people it is, do engage with your council. It might not be the best experience, but burying your head and falling for a very dangerous conspiracy theory will not help. It will only make matters worse. I am a council tax expert with 15 years operational experience and letters after my name in this topic. I'm a credible source when it comes to this, because you will not find anybody who despises council tax as much as I am. And if even I'm telling you that this is nonsense, if I knew of a loophole for getting people out of paying council tax, it would be pinned to the top of my page. I'm sorry, it's not a real theory. We absolutely do need better policy, but sadly on this occasion, this is not one of them.